Game na tayo! Power and Play sa Radyo 5 92.3 News FM.
Inantad ang likas nating talento at magdala ng saya sa mundo. Sa harap ng pagsubok ay di susuko, para sa pangarap tayo'y porsigido. Pagpakitang gilas na at magpapatalo, ipagdiwang natin ng Pilipino. Yan ang Pinoy. Mula noon at hanggang ngayon, talento natin ng bida. Mula sa simpleng bakuran hanggang entablado natin ipakita. May pagsubok man ng Pinoy, pinalalakas ng saya. San man tayo sa pulo, Chumbe, Shibay, Lakay, Maniga. Sama-samang pakita ang galing natin katropa sa kapwa ko Pilipino. Yan ang Pinoy.
Sa pagbaba po ng kaso, gumaganda na naman ang hinaharap ng sports sa ating bansa. Lalong-lalo na kapag binubuhat ng mga batang mga atleta at mga manlalaro. At kaya po, yan ang ating tutunghayan sa aming muling pagbabalik dito sa aming studio. Sa inyong paboritong kasama tuwing Sabado ng umaga, Eddie Pano. Bango na! Power and Play na! Magandang umaga po mga kapatid. Naku, nagbabalik po kami sa 1PH Studios. Pagkatapos ng pagkahaba-habang panahon, nakita ko na rin sa wakas muli ang ating studio, ang ating mga kasama dito, si Direk Joey, si Aaron, ang aming producer, si Santi, at saka si Chester. Naku, talaga naman nakakatuwa. Nagbabalik po kami sa 1PH Studios live sa Radyo 5, sa 1PH, and of course sa Facebook Live. Magandang umaga po. Ako po si Noli Yala at ito po ang Power and Play. Hatid sa inyo ng Cherry Loom, ang yerong may aluminum, ng Cherry Tigo, It's Fun to Drive, at ng Chooks to Go, ang nag-iisang manok ng bayan. Talaga namang nakakatuwa. Kasi bumababa na nga ang kaso, kaya kahit papano po, tayo'y bumabalik na sa ating normal na pamumuhay. Hindi pa naman, bagamat meron pa rin tayo mga health and safety protocols, iba na rin po. Kagaya kanina, papunta ako dito, ang dami ko nang nakikita na mga nagja-jogging. Ang ba nakakatuwa? Nagja-jogging na, mag-iina, kahit po mga bata, talaga pong nakakatuwa. At sana po patuloy tayong mag-ingat, patuloy po tayong maging vigilant, and of course sumunod sa mga panuntunan ng ating pamahalaan, yung pong social distancing, and of course patuloy po tayong mag-ingat sa ating pangangatawan. Of course, ito po ay nakakatuwa dahil dumadating ang Valentine's Day. 2 araw na lang pala. Aaron, tugtog nga ng konting Valentine's dyan. Alam mo, 2 araw na lang. Handa na ba kayo sa pang Valentine's ninyo? Sino ba ang kasama ninyo sa Valentine's Day? It's February 12, 2 days to go before Valentine's Day. Gusto ko nga palang greet na ng advance happy birthday at happy Valentine's ang aking anak si Sam. Happy birthday, darling, at sana mag-enjoy ka. Isa pang happy birthday kay paring June Campos. Happy birthday. Ngayong araw pong ito, sinong kasama mo? Si Cherry nga pala ang kasama mo sa Valentine's Day. Malapit na po ang Valentine's Day, and we certainly hope na kayo pong lahat ay naghahanda na. Ngayon lang tayo makakapag-Valentine's, no? Matagal-tagal na rin natenga tayo sa bahay. Kaya siguro yung mga iba dyan ay magkakaroon ng pagkakataong sumama sa kanilang mga minamahal sa buhay. Of course, marami po tayong pag-uusapan na naman dahil sinasabi nga natin nagbubukas na, umaarangkada na uli ang mundo ng palakasan. At kaya naman po ngayong araw na to ay tayo hitik na hitik sa mga makakausap muli. Mamaya po, makakausap natin ang ating pinagmamalaking LPGA professional. Iilan lamang yung mga Pilipina naglalaro po sa LPGA, si Bianca Pagdanganan. Yan bigkasin yung mabuti. Yung mga foreigner, hindi mabigkas yung pangalan ni Bianca. Bianca Pagdanganan, makakasama po natin at pag-uusapan natin mamaya yung kanyang buhay sa LPGA 2 years removed from her rookie year. So talagang marami siyang naikwento sa atin at mamaya po yan. At makakasama din natin mamaya-maya, walang iba kundi ang mga bituin ng Gilas Pilipinas na voluntaryong umuwi para pong maglaro sa ating national team, ang popular na sila Thirdy Ravena at Dwight Ramos. Yun lang naman. Makakasama po natin sila mamaya at kanilang pag-uusapan, yung kanilang voluntaryong pagbabalik, yung po kanilang mga naiisip, ang estilo ng laro ng Gilas, and of course, ang hinaharap po nila dyan sa Japan B-League, kung saan medyo nagbakasyon muna sila. At meron po tayong sisimulan dito sa Power and Play na ngayon pong tayo naghahanda para sa Southeast Asian Games. Tayo po'y makikipag-usap sa mga National Sports Associations. Yung mga NSA dyan na gusto magbalita ng kanilang ginagawa sa kanilang mga asosasyon, sa kanilang mga atleta, sa kanilang training program, paghahanda patungo sa SEA Games, tawagan lang nyo si Mike Santillan. Isi-schedule kayo. Mamaya po ang ating makakapanayam ang Philippine Taekwondo Association. Isa sa mga napaka-successful na NSA noong 2019 SEA Games. They brought home, I think, 9 na gintong medalya o 8 at 9 na silver. Yan po ang Philippine Taekwondo Association. Mamaya po makakausap din natin sila sa ating In the Spotlight. So, of course, andyan ang pagbabalik ng PBA. Andyan ang kaganapan sa NBA. Talagang buong-buo na ang mga kwento sa palakasan. Kaya simulan na natin mga kapatid sa pamamagitan ng ating Sports Weekly Highlights. Good news para sa Gilas Pilipinas. Call of Duty, ika nga. Umuwi kamakailan ang ilan nating manlalaro mula Japan para i-reinforce ang national team sa February window ng FIBA World Cup Qualifiers. Isa na dyan si Thirdy Ravena na matagal na raw kausap si Samahang Basketball ng Pilipinas, Chairman Emeritus Manny V. Pangilinan, bago pa man siya tawagan ng pambansang koponan. Mamaya po makakapanayam natin si Thirdy Ravena at si Dwight Ramos, kaya abangan nyo po yan. More Gilas News. Nagbanta ng revenge, nakakatakot naman to, si Korean veteran Kim Sun-hyung sa muling pagpapatuloy ng rivalry ng bansa sa World Cup Qualifiers ngayong buwan. Sabi ni Kim, confident daw siya, masisweep nila. Masisweep nila ang Pilipinas ngayong window. Kung ang Pilipinas nangangapa pa sa team lineup, reloaded naman ang ipadadala ng South Korea kasama ang naturalized player nilang si Ricardo Ratliff. Tingnan natin kung talagang magkakatuluyan na yan. Punta naman tayo sa NBA. Pinangalanan bilang isa sa 15 NBA's greatest coaches of all time ang Phil-American na si Eric Spoelstra. Taong 1993 nagsimula ang coaching career ni Coach Spo at 2008 naman nang itinalaga siya bilang head coach ng Miami Heat. Dinala sa back-to-back titles ng may dugong Pinoy ang Miami noong 2012 at 2013 sa kasagsagan ng LeBron era sa South Beach. Bigati ng mga kasama ni Eric sa listahan. Nandyan sina Phil Jackson, Greg Popovich, Chuck Daly, Pat Riley, Steve Kerr at marami pang iba. Mabuhay ka! Coach po, congratulations sa iyong muling pagbibigay ng karangalan sa ating bansa. Sa NBA pa rin, pinakamabigat na pasabog ang blockbuster James Harden-Ben Simmons trade. Nakuha ng Brooklyn Nets si Simmons kasama sina Seth Curry, Andre Drummond at 2 first-round picks. Ang Philadelphia 76ers naman natanggap sina Harden at si Paul Millsap. Paniguradong magiging mainit ang second half ng season, kaya sa mga sumusubaybay ng NBA, abangan ang mga susunod na laban. Balik tayo rito sa Pilipinas. May mga bagong mukha tayong aabangan sa PBA. Pumirma na ng 2-year deal ang big man mula 2019 Gilas draft na si Isaac Go sa Terra Firma Jeep. Ngayong araw din ay inaasahang lalaro na si Isaac sa PBA. Mamaya may laban po yan ha. Bukod kay Go, pumirma na rin ng kontrata si Alin Bulanadi sa Alaska Aces at si Ray Suerte sa Blackwater Bossing. Maging ang Nieto Brothers, si Matt at kumpunan ng NLEX Road Warriors at sa Rain or Shine naman si Mike ay pumirma na rin. Sila ang mga dating nakasama natin sa Gilas Cadet Pool. At kahapon nga, opisyal na nagtuloy ang Governor's Cup makalipas ang isang buwang COVID break. Tinalo ng Meralco Bolts ang NLEX Road Warriors sa unang game 110-100. Samantalang tuloy-tuloy naman ang unbeaten run ng Magnolia matapos pataubin ang Talk and Text 96-93. At yan po ang buod ng ating mga sports weekly highlights. Naku kahapon nga nagsimula na po ang PBA ha. Napakaganda ng mga laro kahapon. Kagaya na nabanggit natin, nanalo po ang Meralco, hindi pa rin sila natatalo. Tony Bishop, 32 points, 13 assists, 13 rebounds, 8 assists, halos triple-double. At siya po ay sinuportahan ni Aaron Black, sinuportahan ni Chris Newsom, 18 and 8. At si Alain Maliksi at si Cliff Hodge rather. Samantalang sa NLEX, sayang, nasayang yung 41 and 12 explosion ni KJ McDaniel. Well, of course, alam natin na ngayon pa lang yan nag-iinit, kaya aabangan natin ang mga laro dyan. Of course, ang Magnolia, hindi pa rin natatalo ha? At yung yung Philippine Cup champion, ang kanilang pinataob kahapon ng Talk and Text. Again, behind the 41 points at 18 rebounds ni Mike Harris. Grabe yung Magnolia kahapon ha. Kaya aabangan po natin ang pag-arangkada muli ng PBA Governors Cup, and we're very happy really para sa mga atleta natin, para sa mga players natin, para po sa buong liga na muling nakakalaro na ang PBA. Of course, ang ating pinagdarasal ay makabalik na ang mga fans. Alam nyo, marami nagsasabi sa social media, kung yung mga rally daw, pinapayagan na. Pinapayagan ng dikit-dikit Pinapayagan na magkita-kita yung mga nasa mga rally, sa mga proclamation rally. Ba't naman daw hindi ang PBA? Tama naman, alert level 2 na So, ano natin yan Appeal natin yan. Appealan natin sa IATF. Pabalikin na ang mga fans para po lalo pang sumigla ang ating mundo ng palakasan. Alright, kanina binabanggit din natin ang mga nakagaanapan sa NBA na napakaingay po kahapon dahil yun po yung kanilang tinatawag na NBA trade deadline. Alam niyo po sa NBA, ano po yan meron po silang panahon na pwede silang mag-trade. Hindi kagaya dito na kahit kailan, meron po silang mga panahon na pwede po. Meron po silang tinatawag na panahon na pwedeng mag-buyout. Para po yung mga veterano pwede namang lumipat ng team. Meron din po silang panahon na ipinipirma naman ng mga rookie. Meron po silang mga takdang panahon na ganon. Kahapon po yung kanilang NBA trade deadline kung saan ang dami pong mga manlalaro na naglipatan kahapon. Bigyan ko lang kayo ng mga konting rundown. Ang pinakamalaki of course yung James Harden at Ben Simmons palitan ng Brooklyn at ng Philadelphia. Naandin dyan din po yung nangyari sa pagitan ng Boston at ng Houston. Si Dennis Schroeder at si Daniel Theis ay nagpalitan po yan. Kasama na rin dyan yung si Enes Freedom, dating Enes Kanter, at isang bench player. Nandyan din po yung palitan ng Dallas at ng Washington. Si Kristaps Porzingis ipinalit naman para kay Spencer Dinwiddie at si Davis Bertans. Andyan din po yung Charlotte at saka yung Washington. Montrezl Harrell ipinalit po para kay Ish Smith at kay Vernon Carey Jr. at may mga picks. Yung pong si Torrey Craig bumalik na naman sa Phoenix Suns mula sa Indiana. At yung pong Boston-San Antonio trade, Derek White nakuha ng Boston kapalit po ni Josh Richardson at ni Romeo Langford. Marami pa yan yung Magic po nakuha si Bol Bol at si PJ Dozier mula sa Celtics at marami pa po. Kaya po ang ating tatanungin ngayon sa ating pulso ng bayan, ha? Medyo lilis tayo ng konti. NBA ang ating katanungan. Ang ating pong pupulsuhan ngayong araw pong ito ay ito. Sino po sa tingin ninyo ang biggest winner at biggest loser sa katatapos lamang na NBA trade deadline? Ulitin ko po yan, ha. Sino po sa tingin ninyo ang biggest winner at biggest loser sa katatapos lamang na NBA trade deadline? Meron po tayong palaro na hatid sa inyo ng Chooks to Go, ang nag-iisang manok ng bayan. Mag-post lamang po ng inyong kasagutan sa aming Facebook page sa Power and Play. At kayo po ay makakatanggap. Yung dalawa pong pinakamagandang mapipili namin ay makakatanggap ng gift certificates mula sa Chooks to Go, ang nag-iisang manok ng bayan. Napakasarap ng kanilang mga manok, oven roasted at napakarami pang iba. So mag-post lamang po sa aming Facebook page ng Power and Play with Com Noli Yala para sa inyong mga kasagutan, o di kaya mag-text sa 0908-208-0629 o sa aking Twitter or sa Facebook page po ng 1PH at ng Radyo 5. Ha? Mamaya po babasahin natin ang inyong mga sagot at komentaryo. Alright mga kaibigan, tuloy-tuloy po tayo sa Power and Play. We will take a quick break. Sa amin pong pagbabalik, ating pong makakapanayam, walang iba kundi ang Gilas stalwarts, Thirdy Ravena at si Dwight Ramos, dito po sa inyong paboritong kasama tuwing Sabado, ang Power and Play hatid sa inyo ng Cherry Loom, Cherry Tigo at ng Chooks to Go. Ang oras po natin, 8:17 ng umaga. This time check is brought to you by Birmingham Subdivisions. Come home to Birmingham.
I dare to dream big, to be a voice of my generation, to inspire resilience in the face of roadblocks. And in sharing my stories, I let others share in my passion.
Follow Kai's stories on Twitter and share yours with Smart Double Giga Stories. Share 2 times the passion with 2 gigabytes for Twitter and more. Guaranteed every day, plus data for all sites.
Simple, smart ako.
Alex, are you ready to have some fun on your first driving lesson?
Nag-uumapaw sa real chicken juice na swak sa panlasa ng buong pamilya. Available in sweet roast, pepper roast, at harissa roast variants. Chooks to Go. Masarap kahit walang sauce. Tawag na sa Chooks to Go Delivery Hotline 8687-1010 o online sa chookstogodelivery.com or via GrabFood at Foodpanda.
Power and Play with Com Noli Yala.
Mukhang kailangan ko na naman palitan ng bubong ko, pare. Mag-iisang taong pa lang yan. May tulo na kagad.
Ay, bossing! Baka naman kasi hindi matibay yung ginamit nyo. Dapat ang gamitin mo ay Cherry Loom, ang yerong aluminum. Basta yero, Cherry Loom. Tibay protektado sa pangmatagalang yero.
Attention NBA fans! All the breathtaking NBA actions that you've been waiting for are here! Rising Stars Challenge, All-Star Saturday Night, and the 71st NBA All-Star Game. Yes, you heard Attention NBA fans! All the breathtaking NBA actions that you've been waiting for are here! Rising Stars Challenge, All-Star Saturday Night, and the 71st NBA All-Star Game. Yes, you heard it right. You name it, we got it. Don't miss the fun and thrill on NBA All-Star Game. Catch all the games on TV5, One Sports, NBA TV Philippines from February 19 to 21. Always a fan of NBA All-Star.
Noli Iyala Power and Play sa Radyo 5 92.3 News FM.
Muli po nagbabalik tayo dito sa 1PH Studios para po sa ating paghandog ng Power and Play ngayong umagang ito. Naku, talagang excited ako eh. Excited ako pag nandito, talagang nakakatuwa po na muling nagbabalik kami dito sa ating studio. Alright, bago po natin ihatid ang ating unang guest ngayong araw pong ito, well, tingnan po muna natin ang mga trending video natin and of course ang ating mga online sports videos na ating sinusundan sa ating Stop and Pop. Sabi nga natin nagbabalik na po ang normal sa palakasan. Well, tuloy pa rin tayo sa golf. Pero mini-me naman. Mini na golf course, ika nga ha. Yan po ang ating panonood. Kita nyo naman yung batang yan ha. Ang mini rin ang naglalaro. Sa edad na 3 at hindi maikakaila ang swing ng bata na yan. Kung si Efren Bata Reyes kayang mag-magic sa pool, si Kido kayang-kaya ang bank shots sa mini course. Tuloy-tuloy lang at balang araw kasama ang dedikasyon ay makakakita tayo ng bagong bituin pagdating sa golf. Ang galing ano? Kita mo naman yung mga bandang yan, papasok pa. At yan ang ating Stop and Pop moment. Ang galing, galing ng batang yun. Kaya mo yun, Santi? Alright mga kaibigan, alam niyo po itong ating unang makakapanayam ay ika nga, pareho pong nagbigay ng excitement sa ating lahat. Nakita natin sila naglaro hindi lamang sa local scene pero ngayon sa international scene sa Japan B-League. At sila po'y umuwi para voluntaryong magbalik kasama ng Gilas Pilipinas. Yan po ang ating makakapanayam sa ating special Fast Take Edition. Ito po si Thirdy Ravena at si Dwight Ramos sa Fast Take. It's fun to drive. Dwight Ramos at Thirdy Ravena sa Power and Play.
And kagaya po ng aming nasabi, kasama natin ngayon ang ating Gilas Pilipinas stalwarts, walang iba kung hindi si Thirdy Ravena and Dwight Ramos. Thank you so much, gentlemen, for being on the show today. It's a big honor. Welcome back to Manila.
Thanks for having us, Noli. It's good to be back.
Well, that's my first question. Actually, we were kidding a while ago. It's been a long time. 6 months for you, Thirdy, and 4 months for you, Dwight. You didn't come home for Christmas. How does it feel to be back home? Ikaw muna, Thirdy. Anong pakiramdam mo na balik Pinas ka?
Welcome, Noli. Sobrang tuwa nga lang kasi nakikita ko ulit yung pamilya ko at yung mga matagal. Lahat ng mga tao iwan na dito sa Pilipinas. So, it's good to be back on the team. Happy na nakapag-practice na po kami. And excited na po kami to, play in this film.
Dwight, like I said, you're even looking a little more like Japanese to me now. But, are you happy to be back home? And, what have you missed from Manila?
Yeah, I'm definitely happy to be here. I definitely missed the weather, of course. I got to see my brother also. I haven't seen him in a long time. And yeah, just seeing all of my people here, all my teammates from the past. It's great seeing everybody, and it's always good to be back in the Philippines.
The story is, of course, a lot of the news outfits have carried your story. And I'll begin with you, Dwight, on this one, that you were allowed by your team, actually both of you, Thirdy, ikaw, Neo, Phoenix, of course, and of course Dwight with the Grouses of Toyama. You were allowed to play for Gilas. Tell us about that particular, the string of events that led to that one, Dwight. You begin.
Well, for me, when I was first negotiating the contract way before I signed, I already told them that, that I would want to play for the national team whenever the windows are or when the games come up. So November got canceled, so obviously I didn't go back for that. And then so we have 4 games this February, so they already knew that was coming, and then Gilas called me up, so I just answered the call.
Thirdy, it is the first half of the season ng B-League, So again, in your case, how did you decide, or bakit ka nag-decide at this point, and was it also part of your deal with Neo Phoenix?
Yes po, Noli. Even before, just like what Dwight mentioned, even before we signed the contract, we already talked about the national team, and I would want to play at lahat ng posibleng window kung may chance. So, happy nga lang ako kasi sobrang supportive na Neo Phoenix sa decision ko, and they actually want me to go. So, laking pasalamat ko for a supportive club like them. And yeah, ngayon na nandito na po kami. We're just very excited to represent the country naman po.
May napabalita, of course, we've seen all of the support coming from your teams and your fans on social media about how they are very much supportive of your stint with Gilas and how you will represent them, I guess, in the national team. But of course, there's news about provisions in your contracts about getting injured and getting COVID-19 as a probable trigger to some issues with your contract. Is that true, Dwight?
I'm not actually sure about the complete details, but I'm sure that if I got COVID or anything like that, that would be fine. I would still go back to Japan. I think the only problem would be if there was some border restriction for COVID or something, but other than that, everything should be fine with me.
Thirdy, what about you? Ganun din ba ang kontrata mo? Is there a provision about that? And are you concerned about itong mga ganitong klaseng maaaring mangyari, injuries and even COVID-19?
Well, of course, Noli, ayaw naman po sana natin mangyari yung mga yun. But I think right now, yung team po namin, my manager then here in the Philippines, Boss Marvin, we're still talking about those clauses kasi hindi pa na-finalize. And just in case those things happen,
All right. Well, one thing before I leave this kamustahan on your trip back home, one thing that you will miss, obviously, Thirdy, is playing against Kiefer. Dahil you will still be here and there will be back-to-back games against the Shiga Lake Stars. At sayang at hindi mo makakalaro siya. And of course, when you go back, you will have to quarantine again, and both of you actually. Is this, something that even crossed your mind, and was it even a consideration, or ito talagang ultimate sacrifice?
Well, Noli, talagang, hindi rin namin in-expect na maka-cancel po kasi yung game namin ni Manong. Dapat mangyayari yun noong January, pero because of COVID nga, na-move siya to the February window. So, sayang lang, but would have wanted to play that game, another game with my brother. So, very exciting din sana. But I wish my team all the best. Sana manalo sila.
But let me go now to why you're here. Of course, with Gilas, and many things have changed since the last time you were both with Gilas. People that you were with, players that you were teammates with, many of them are not there already. How have the practices been so far, Dwight, for you?
It's been great so far. I got to play with the other guys, the other Gilas guys again. Of course, Thirdy joined us, and then I was playing with the Talk and Text team also, and so it's been fun playing with Coach Chot and his system. So we're just getting used to everything. I think everything's going pretty well so far.
With the limited time, 30, and Dwight has mentioned it. You're playing with pros. You're playing with the guys that you were with, and with the limited time, do you think you will have you're comfortable with the adjustments that you'll have to make para sa Gilas?
Well, hopefully, come Noli na, I could gel with the team and the system as fast as I could, as soon as possible. But yeah, we have 15 days. There's no guarantee in kung saan kami maaabot within the 15 days, but we're gonna try our best, that's for sure. And we hope nga that preparation is enough for us to win in this window against very tough teams like Korea and New Zealand.
There obviously will have to be some changes, not only in the styles, but also, I guess, in the roles. Dwight, have you talked to Coach Chot? Has he told you what kind of role you will be playing with the team? Is there a major difference from what you were doing the last time you played with Gilas?
No, I haven't talked with Chot about anything about my role or anything. Coach Chot just, we're just trying to get everything together, and get ready on defense and our offensive systems. So I think for now we're just working on coming together as a team, and we haven't really discussed anybody's roles or anything yet.
How are you, Dwight, adjusting to the system of Coach Chot?
I'm doing pretty well, I think. I'm learning everything he's saying, the plays and everything. We're just coming along, it's more just getting familiar with playing with everybody within a different system now.
Mm-hmm. All right. I guess it's the same thing with you, Thirdy. You've played, of course, here, and alam mo naman ang laro ni Coach Chot. But is there a difference between him and Coach Tab? Alam mo, I interviewed Coach Chot here last week, and he said that he will basically continue with what Coach Tab started, especially when Gilas beat Korea. So, meron ka bang nakikitang pagbabago? Is there a marked difference between the styles of the two coaches?
Well, ako, first time ko maging under kay Coach Chot, I think. So, with the dribble drive, it's certainly, as a primary offense, yun yung malaking pagbabago for me. Okay naman po, tinuro naman po nila, yun yung pinakauna nilang in-address is the new system. So, they were very hands-on sa pagtulong sa akin to try and get the offense and pick it up as soon as I could. And okay naman po yung tinakbo namin the last two practices.
Do you think that playing with the pros, of course, you've done that before kasi nakasali ka na rin, but do you think that playing with the pros, and limited lang naman yan, no? I think Coach Chot is looking at about 4 or 5 players to bring into the team. Is that going to make a big difference, or wala namang pagkakaiba kasi pare-pareho naman kayong mga bata, of course, and of course, all of you are playing under Coach Chot Reyes?
Well, just like what Dwight said, parehas naman yung sistema na tinatakbo ng Talk and Text and Gilas, which is under Coach Chot. So for us, it's really a matter of getting to know each other. Yung chemistry namin sa loob, malaking tulong yung parehas kami tinatakbo ng sistema Noli. So we just have to be familiar sa mga laro namin para alam namin kung saan yung isa't isa during the game po. Thirdy
raised a good word there, chemistry, Dwight, and with less than 3 weeks of preparation, that's something that I guess you guys have to relearn again. How was it in the bubble? But limited time, you were in the bubble, of course, and how are you building chemistry together as a team, Dwight?
Well, I think chemistry kind of starts off the court as well as on the court. So Coach Chot's really great at doing that. He brings us all together during dinner time. We talk, share stuff about ourselves. So, I mean, it starts off the court and then practicing on the court. That's really how he's building chemistry between all of us.
And obviously the road ahead is treacherous. It's a difficult qualifier, although we have qualified for the World Cup. The SBP has said that they will not take it lightly. It's a chance for you to learn. What is your mindset, Dwight, going into this qualifier, and what is your expectation as you play this next 4 games here in the Philippines?
Well, I always have high expectations for our team. So, of course, going into the window, I'm expecting us to go 4-0. Of course, it's very difficult within our time, our preparation time, and, you know, our lack of players at the moment. So, of course, we're going to have to – it's going to be a hard job, but, of course, you know, you got to set high expectations for yourselves, and that's what I'm hoping to do with our team.
Thirdly, your mindset. Alam natin that, you know, people are expecting a lot. We cannot take that away from our basketball fans. They always take a lot of pride with Gilas, especially after what you guys did. You set the bar quite high the last time you guys played. And, you know, so what is your mindset? Is there pressure to live up to that expectation?
Well, Noli, for us, dapat yung pressure nanggagaling sa amin. Of course, there's gonna be pressure kasi sa Gilas, yung buong bayan yung dala mo, hindi lang isang team. So yung buong bansa talagang manonood. But also, as players, kailangan din namin i-challenge yung sarili namin. It's gonna be a tough 4 games, just like what you mentioned, Noli, but it's no excuse. We're here, we're gonna play at home. So, kailangan mag-take pride kami sa mga ganung bagay, Noli, and hopefully, you know, makuha po tayo mga panalo in the window.
Well, ang Korea, nagsabi na, some of their players have said that it's time for revenge for them. You know, of course, they're trying to qualify, so there's a high-stakes game for them. Do you think that you will be ready for Korea? And I also wanted to ask this: how do you think? Is it fair to compare this particular your group now with the team that beat Korea twice in the other window? Do you think that's fair, guys? I'll start with you, Thirdy.
Oh, well, I mean, I wasn't part of both.
Yes. But do you think it's fair to compare that group at saka yung group nyo, and how do you think you'll fare against Korea this time around?
Well, I mean, I think to judge it as that, hindi naman siya for us. Yung priority namin is to always just play 100%. It doesn't matter na kung manalo kami. Hopefully, manalo kami every single game. But, you know, playing really hard and playing with pride for the country is really what we're aiming for. And hopefully nga na enough yung preparation namin to win those games against Korea na alam namin na talagang pinaghandaan nila yung window na to.
Dwight, you know, you're facing a different Korea team this time. So, what is your expectation? And again, the same question: do you think it is fair that people compare? I mean, assuming you don't win against Korea, people say, this is a bad team compared to the other one. Do you think that is fair, or if you win better, you'll say this team is better than the other one? What are your thoughts on that?
Oh, that's tough. I don't know. I couldn't compare the two teams. I mean, like Thirdy said, I wasn't part of the other team in 2013. We had completely different players. I think those guys were preparing for longer, and so you know, they were really prepared for their games, and it showed. That's how they came out with the win. So hopefully we can just try and get to their level, try and prepare like them, and hopefully get as close as a team as they did. So really trying to follow their blueprint is what we're doing.
All right. Well, you know, it's not only the 2013 squad, it's the other Gilas team where you beat Korea twice back to back in our own shores, and you know that's why people have so much expectations, seeing those victories and finally cherishing and tasting that kind of victory in our own backyard. All right, let me just talk a little bit about your stint in the B League. You know, you two have adjusted pretty quickly. I mean, we can see, you know, you are playing high-level basketball there, and of course, it seems like you're very comfortable with the team. Thirdy, how do you find the competitions at B League so far?
I think it was tougher nga Comnoli than last year. Just like what the league does, gusto nila na they find ways on how to make the league harder and harder. And I feel like this year, it happened. Yung mga trades na nangyari and the teams na bago yung mga coaches, talagang just made everything tough para sa team namin this season. And it's hopefully mababa namin yun Comnoli.
Obviously, kailangan talaga ng puntos mo, but of course, they're sacrificing ngayon na wala ka. Dwight, you're averaging close to 10 points, close to 4 rebounds, and almost 2 assists a game. And, in your first game, you did well, you've been doing very well. Do you think that the adjustment period was pretty easy for you, or, was the competition so tough that you just needed to play your best?
Yeah, no, I don't think the adjustment was very easy. It definitely had my highs and lows. So really the biggest thing for me personally is just trying to be more consistent in the rest of the games, and then hopefully in the future for me.
How do you compare the fans, Dwight? The Filipino fans as well as the Japanese fans. Are they as rabid as Filipino fans? And how do you interact with them? Do they interact with you?
I can interact with them a little bit. They're kind of still with the COVID restrictions. And so, I mean, it's hard for me to compare because really, I've really never gotten to play in front of the Filipino fans here. My first game here was like with COVID already. So there was nobody in the crowds or anything. So I really haven't gotten to experience that full Filipino basketball fan experience.
Thirdy, you've experienced that, with Ateneo, and of course, we know how UAAP fans are, but now that you've experienced both, and we've also seen how the Japanese fans can be really crazy about their own team and their basketball. What is your reaction to the fans in Japan?
Well, very overwhelming nga, Comnoli, especially nga lalo na nung first year ko doon, pagdating ko pa lang dun sa arena, yung mga tao may mga postcard ko na may mga postcard. So nakagulat na grabe rin sila sumuporta ng team nila, na they really try to find out about everything that has to do with the team, and they're very supportive, manalo man o matalo. They're always going to be present in the game, so makita mo na yung pagmamahal nila for the club is really there.
Do you think you have improved as a player playing in the Japan B-League, Thirdy?
I would say I got a little bit more control of my game this season, especially nga nung first year ko. Hindi naman, it didn't go the way that we wanted to, and I personally wanted it to go, especially with the injuries and the COVID situation last year. But this year parang mas naging komportable ko sa league, but that doesn't mean that I still have a lot of things that I need to improve on in the game. So hopefully I'm able to address it as soon as possible. Pero I think it was a better year this year, individually.
Kitang-kita naman yun. There's more confidence, obviously, and you obviously play the way your team needs you. Your role there is always what the team wants from you. Dwight, on the other hand, you have also been a key player, spark plug in the team. What are your biggest learnings so far playing in the Japan B-League?
Well, for me, really, I've learned that I just really need to keep working hard, because I learned that there's so many highs and lows. I talk to the veterans on the team, the imports, and they tell me, just keep staying in the gym. There's days where I'm high, and some days I'm low. You just got to keep going, keep an even keel.
And when you look at your game, is there an aspect of your game you think that you need to focus a little more in the second half of this season, so that you can help your team more and perhaps improve yourself as well?
Well, personally, I think I could rebound the ball more and I know there's many times where I was struggling with my shooting, and so just finding other ways to be productive outside of scoring, I think that's one way I could help the team more.
Thirdy, is there an area of your game that you feel you need to focus a little more and maybe improve para sa ditong push ninyo as you come from the bottom of the team standing and hopefully still make the playoffs?
Yeah, just like what Dwight mentioned nga kanina, Comnoli, is sa mga challenge dito is consistency. So I feel like having consistent shooting is a challenge for me. May mga games na I shoot pretty good. Pero may mga ibang laro na talagang wala na talagang pinasa ko Comnoli. Pero just staying consistent na hindi ka na confident ka sa sarili mo. Kasi nga, you have to trust in yourself. There's always going to be those games. So for me, that's really the challenge, and as well as pick and rolls, making better reads off of pick and rolls.
Have you adjusted with the life abroad? Have you adjusted with the life in Japan? Do you still miss home, and sometimes does it affect your game? 30?
Well, as far as I know naman, Comnol, hindi naman po naka-affect yung kumbaga yung mga homesickness ko sa performance. I think it really drives me to play even harder kasi nga gusto ko gawin to para sa kaya ako nandito is to represent the country and para mapakita ko rin sa kanila na kung bakit ako nandito. That helps me.
Well, it helps that also there are people, there are Filipinos, Dwight's there, your Kiefer is there, and it's easier. But Dwight, how about you? Do you still feel a little homesick at times, and does it affect you mentally in your games?
I don't think it really affects me too much in the games. I think the homesickness is more like outside of basketball. But it's something I'm kind of used to already. I grew up in America. I left my family there. I just have my brother. He's here in the Philippines. I'm over there in Japan. So, we all have we're going our separate ways, but always coming back together. And so I'm just trying to play there and make them proud, and have my brother play here, make our family proud, and then hopefully that's how we're gonna handle things.
Yeah. Well, you experienced the life playing overseas, and you're a full-fledged import, so to speak. So I guess as I end this conversation, moving forward, do you think, gentlemen, that you made the right choice playing in the Japan B League? I'll start with you, Dwight.
Yeah, I definitely think I made the right choice. Playing basketball there has been great. The league has been great, super professional, and I really think I'm growing as a person and as a player at the same time.
30? 2 years in the Japan B League, and you're obviously meeting more people. Do you think you made the right choice?
Yeah, yes, of course, Comnol, maraming paghihirap. Hindi ko sabing madali po yung pinili kong decision to play in Japan, but I'd say it's a really good decision that I made, and I'm very happy with how everything has turned out and how I'm growing as a person, both on and off the court, and learning about more and more about life and the culture of Japan. So it was a great choice for me.
In this discussion that we've had, obviously it's fun, but it's also difficult. And sa tingin mo ba, Thirdy, itong buhay na ganito, this life is for everyone, for all players, or does it fit a particular personality? Go ahead, Thirdy.
Sinasabi ko nga, Comnoli, I mean, hindi madaling decision na, to play out here in Japan. Leave everything in the Philippines, yung pamilya mo, lahat ng mahal mo sa buhay. There's always going to be a lot of challenges, whether it's on and off the court, especially. Yung mga bagong sabat sa overseas basketball, just like me last year, it was a little tough, pero kailangan matatag talaga yung loob mo, Comnoli, para mag-last ka kasi maraming hardships both on and off the court. But
maraming hamon. Yeah, Dwight, do you agree? This is not for everyone?
Oh yeah, I definitely agree with that. I always tell my brother, like, if you want, the only way to make it like playing overseas is you really got to love basketball, because if you're after it for different reasons, when you hit those lows, it's hard. It's really hard to get out of there. So I really think it's just you really need to love basketball to make it there.
well, people love you for what you've done, for, taking the challenge, taking the plunge. But more than that, people love you for staying true to your commitment to playing for Gilas. And as a final question, I guess for the two of you, will this be the regular fare for Thirdy and Dwight? That when there is a call, you will be back here and then you'll be back again playing for your B-League team. Is that going to be a regular fare, and do we expect that from you, from the Gilas fans? Dwight?
I think so. I think it should be expected. As much as I can, I'm going to keep trying to play for Gilas. And, I'm just going to have to see in the future what happens. But for me personally, I always want to.
Thirdy?
Yes, Kamnali, I'd have the same answer as Dwight. I always want to represent the Philippines as much as I can. And hopefully everything sorts out, lahat ng mga windows na we sorted out as with the national team and the club team. And yeah, I'd always want to play for the national team, of course.
Well, I'm just hoping that even if you play Japan in a window or in a game, that they will still allow you to play because they know how good you are. And they know that you can beef up the team in any particular game. Gentlemen, it was fun seeing you again. And I'm so proud of you. I wish you all the best. And I wish Gilas all the best. Mag-ingat kayo. Stay safe. And I hope to see you soon. Maraming salamat.
Maraming salamat, Kamnali. Thanks for having us.
Yan po mga kaibigan ang ating panayam kay Thirdy Ravena at kay Dwight Ramos. Talaga naman pong kahanga-hanga. Kahanga-hanga ang kanilang pananaw, kahanga-hanga po ang kanilang commitment and dedication. Hindi lamang sa kanilang craft, yung kanilang kagalingan, yung kanilang pagiging professional, pero po yung kanilang dedication and commitment sa ating national team, yung Gilas Pilipinas. Voluntaryo na iniwan nila ang kanilang mga kupunan, although kailangan sila at naghahabol, lalong-lalo na si Thirdy. Nasa ilalim ang kanyang team, yung pong Sun and Neo Phoenix. Pero siya po ay umuwi. As part of his commitment, natulungan ang Gilas Pilipinas. Si Dwight Ramos, ganin din po. Siya ay isa sa mga key players ng Toyama Grouses, pero siya po ay bumalik at talagang patuloy na ginigit niya na nasa kontrata niya yan. Yan ang una niyang inilabas sa kanyang kontrata. Gusto niya na maglaro para sa Gilas and he will continue to do that for as long as he is wanted by the team. Again, saludo tayo kay Thirdy Ravena at kay Dwight Ramos. Alright, bago po tayo mag-break, syempre paalala lamang po mula sa ating mga kaibigan, mula sa Smart. Puso Pilipinas is a movement to celebrate the Filipino athlete powered by Smart. Follow them on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube. Get a chance to win exclusive Puso Pilipinas merch by sharing their Facebook page in your social media accounts with hashtag Puso Pilipinas. The Giga Life app is the latest mobile app from Smart that lets you discover and enjoy your passions with the different Giga promos. It can be downloaded and used by Smart Postpaid, Smart Prepaid, Bro Prepaid, and TNT subscribers via the Apple or Google Play Store. What can the Giga Life app do for me? Check your balance, monitor your current subscription, top up using debit credit card, subscribe to the latest Giga promos, monitor your data consumption, auto-detect your mobile number when you are connected to Smart Network one-tap subscription to the most popular offer, Giga Video 99. And of course, ang Power and Play is powered by Smart. Alright mga kaibigan, sa aming pong pagbabalik ang ating makakapanayam, ang pinagmamalaki nating professional golfer sa LPGA, si Bianca Pagdanganan. Ito po ang Power and Play, hatid sa inyo ng Cherry Loom, ng Cherry Tigo at ng Chooks to Go. Ang oras po natin, 6 na minuto bago mag alas 9 ng umaga. This time check is brought to you by Birmingham Subdivisions. Come home to Birmingham.
I dare to dream big, to be a voice of my generation, to inspire resilience in the face of roadblocks. And in sharing my stories, I let others share in my passion.
Follow Kai Stories on Twitter and share yours. With Smart Double Giga Stories. Share 2 times the passion with 2 gigabytes for Twitter and more. Guaranteed every day. Plus data for all sites.
Simple, smart ako.
Alex, are you ready to have some fun on your first driving lesson?
Nag-uumapaw sa real chicken juice. Naswak sa panlasa ng buong pamilya. Available in sweet roast, pepper roast, at harissa roast variants. Chooks to go. Masarap kahit walang sauce. Tawag na sa Chooks to Go Delivery Hotline 8687-1010 o online sa chookstogodelivery.com or via GrabFood at Foodpanda.
Power and Play with Noli Iyala.
Mukhang kailangan ko na naman palitan ng bubong ko, pare. Mag-iisang taong pa lang yan. May tulo na kagad.
Ay, bossing! Baka naman kasi hindi matibay yung ginamit nyo. Dapat ang gamitin mo ay cherry loom, ang yerong aluminum. Basta yero, cherry loom. Tibay protektado sa pangmatagalang yero.
Broadcasting live from TV5 Media Center. 25,000 watts ng balita, impormasyon, serbisyo. DWFM Radyo 5 Radyo 5 92.3 News FM
Power and Play game na sa Radyo 5 92.3 News FM.
Muli po isang magandang umaga sa inyo lahat mga kapatid at sa lahat po ng mga nakikinig sa atin sa Radyo 5 92.3 News FM. Yung po mga kaibigan natin bumabiyahe po, yung po mga namamasada, yung pong mga security guard na nakatutok po sa atin. Magandang umaga po sa inyo lahat. Of course, lahat po ng nanonood sa 1PH on Signal TV, good morning. Especially po doon sa ating mga nasa mga emergency rooms ng ating mga ospital, diyan po sa SPC Medical Center at sa buong lalawigan ng Laguna. Magandang umaga po sa inyo lahat. And of course, we'd like to say hello and welcome sa lahat po ng nagla-live stream sa pamamagitan ng Facebook Live ng Power and Play, ng 1PH at ng Radyo 5. Thank you so much for joining us at sa patuloy pong pagsuporta ninyo sa inyong paboritong kasama tuwing Sabado ng umaga. And talking about mga sumusuporta, gusto po nating pasalamatan lahat ng mga tagapagtaguyod ng Power and Play. Simulan natin, of course, sa Cherry Loom, ang yerong may aluminum. Sa ganitong pabago-bago ang panahon, mga kababayan, sobrang init tapos biglang ulan, kailangan natin ng matibay at protektadong bubong. Dapat ang bubong ay yerong may aluminum. Kapag may aluminum, tsak na pang matagalan. At isa lang ang alam kong dekalidad na yerong may aluminum, yan ang Cherry Loom, tibay protektado sa pang matagalang yero. Cherry Loom, ang yerong may aluminum. Thank you so much, paring Elmer Ngo. Marami din po salamat of course sa Cherry Tigo. Saluhin ang swerteng hatid ng Year of the Tiger. Own a brand new Tigo 2 Pro crossover with Cherry's Year of the Growling Tigo promo. Sa halagang 68,000 low down payment, may sporty 5-seater ka na safe in any road condition dahil mas mataas ang ground clearance nito kaysa sedan. Spacious din ang seats at legroom kaya mas komportable mapa-driver or passenger. May 9-inch infotainment system pa na pwedeng i-connect sa MirrorLink and Apple CarPlay para mas convenient at chill ang travel mo. Maganda, no? Pili na from the 6 lucky colors of Tigo 2 Pro Passion Orange, Lava Red, Graphite Gray, Vivid White, Tuscan Beige, at Laser Yellow. Hashtag move for more colors and adventure. Bisitahin ang www.cherryauto.ph to know more about the fun to drive Tigo 2 Pro. Maraming salamat po kay paring Romel Sitin sa kanilang suporta sa Power and Play. Thank you also, of course, sa Joyride, ang bago ninyong kasundo. Let's start the Chinese New Year ride with a cashback from Smart. Get up to 15% cashback to your JR Pay wallet. Just buy Smart and TNT regular load on Joyride Super App. Maximum of 5 transactions per customer per day only. Cashback is credited after 1 to 3 days. Ano pang hinihintay nyo? Download Joyride Super App at mag-load na. Marami din pong salamat, of course, sa Elms Seafood Paluto, the latest offering of the Elms Resto Bar Group, located at Unit 2, ground floor, Calle Bistro, Ever Commonwealth, Quezon City. Enjoy their delectable seafood menu in a relaxed casual dining atmosphere for your salo-salo meal. Visit also Carlitos Sisig Seafood Paluto along Shaw Boulevard, now open for dine-in and take-out from 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. Swabe ang timpla, pang Pinoy at international ang lasa. Thank you so much kay Malu Yambao and of course kay Lance Ngo at kay Kapitan Carlito Sernal. Skin, your face and body anti-aging center. It's the beginning of the year. The constant fight to lose weight from the holidays is harder than ever, so we heard you. Skin is offering a 5+2 promo. Call our branches at Alabang Town Center and Grinnell San Juan for your skin assessment and treatment. Ang numero po nila 0917-890-1640, 0977-809-8886. Thank you so much kay Dr. G. Sarmiento at kay Doc Richie Sarmiento. Birmingham Subdivisions. Come home to Birmingham. Located at Antipolo, Cainta, General Trias, Cavite, Marikina, Pasig, Rodriguez, San Mateo, and Tagaytay. Building communities since 1984. Celebrate your new year with a new home. Your home in Birmingham Subdivisions. Check out their Facebook page or call 0939-921-7458, 891-27731. Thank you so much kay Mr. and Mrs. Jimmy Hernandez. Marami ding salamat, of course, sa ASEA Subic Beach Resort. Experience the getaway that you deserve and dive into limitless happenings, rejuvenating experiences, and gastronomic adventures. ASEA Subic Beach Resort. Power and Play would also like to thank the Umami Bowl, your go-to for Japanese rice bowls. Lick Hobby, Weave by Weave, hand in hand. Check out their IG pages. And of course, maraming salamat sa ating pinakabagong supporter, Chooks to Go, ang nag-iisang manok ng bayan. And finally, Power and Play is powered by Smart. Live Smart. Maraming salamat po sa inyong lahat, sa inyong patuloy na pagsuporta sa Power and Play. Alright, bago po natin ipasok ang ating susunod na guest, pasok muna natin ang ating This Week in Sports History. February 5, 1960. Ang tagal na nito 62 years ago, kinalawit ni Bill Russell ang pinakaunang, pakinggan niyo po ito mga kapatid 50 rebound game sa NBA. Nagawa ni Bill Russell ang record-setting feat sa 124-100 win ng Celtics kontra Syracuse Nationals. 24 na rebounds ang nakuha ni Russell sa first half at 27 naman sa second half. Ang 51 rebounds ni Russell ang nooy NBA record at nanatiling number 2 sa all-time list. Bill Russell sets a mind-blowing 51 rebounds record this week in sports history. Pambihira po 51 na rebound. Abay, makasampu ka lang yung double-double. Pinagbubunyi na ngayong mga panahon na to yung 51 rebounds pa. ni Bill Russell. Unbelievable. Alright, mga kaibigan, talking about unbelievable, well, ang susunod po nating makakapanayam ay nagbibigay talaga ng mga unbelievable moments sa atin sa Philippine golf. Siya po ngayon ay tinaguriang one of the longest hitters sa LPGA Tour. Yung LPGA po, yan po ang pinakamataas na antas ng golf sa mga kababaihan sa buong mundo. At ang ating pong kasama ay siya po ay isa sa mga Pilipino, isa sa mga naglalaro doon na patuloy na dinadala ang ating bandila. Mga kaibigan, ang ating pong guest ngayon, walang iba kundi ang LPGA Pro, Bianca Pagdanganan.
And what a pleasure to have with us today, of course, ang ating pinagmamalaking LPGA Pro, walang iba kundi si Bianca Pagdanganan. Good to have you on the show, Bianca. Maraming salamat for joining us on Power and Play.
Hi, everyone. No, thank you so much, Bob, for having me. It's always a pleasure.
Ang tagal na, no? Ang tagal na. I mean, the last time I was talking to you, you were still very new on the tour, and we were very excited for you. I think that was really the start of a really, really good career. In fact, I remember you just finished the tournament, and it really came out really well for you. How has life been on the tour so far? How cool has it been for the last 2 years?
I think that my life on tour has gone by pretty fast. So when I played the tournament last week, I had people asking me, "Oh, how many years have you been on tour?" And muntik ko na masagot na it's my rookie year. But I was like, wait, no. It's my second year, technically my third, because 2020 didn't really count for anything. So I was like, wait, no. It's my second year on tour. And they're like, wow, and then I think about it, and I just you don't even realize how, it's I'm so busy throughout the year. All the tournaments are so close to one another but it's hard to keep track of time. But I guess it's also a good thing. It means I'm enjoying what I'm doing.
But in terms of learnings, Bianca, ano yung mga natutunan mo in your rookie year that has given you more confidence dito sa second year?
I guess. I mean, aside from the fact na I learned from, all the others I play with, I feel like there's always going to be that little bit of something that you absorb from everyone you're playing. And I hope they're good things. But I guess, isa ko pang natutunan is that, siguro, coming into the tour, you have such high expectations for yourself. Kasi syempre, yun na yung, kumbaga, highest level of your sport. So syempre, daming pressure. But then, I had tournaments where I played well. So if anything, I learned that, I'm good enough to be out here to compete with the best players in the world. And I think that's nice to have experienced, that's so nice to be experienced in my rookie year. Parang, at least now, my standards na ako, or my expectations na rin ako for my own game.
Well, obviously we've seen your game, and many have marveled, of course, at especially at your the way you drive the ball, the way you hit the ball. But there have been ups and downs, as you said, and pressure, including the Q Series, Bianca, na pinagdaanan mo uli.
Yeah.
And that was really pressure for you. Is this some kind of a short-term goal na ayoko nang dumaan uli sa Q Series? Is that something that you want to put for yourself?
Oh my gosh, yes. It was actually my goal right after my first Q Series in 2019. Unfortunately, I had to go through it again. But I guess it's okay na rin kasi, at least I know, I know what to expect heading into Q Series. I feel like in 2019, there's just so much going on. I honestly didn't know how Q Series worked. I knew that I had to make the cut, be at a certain position, or finish at a certain position, on to the next. So I thought it was like that. And then they kept saying that top 45 and ties, you get your LPGA card. But then basically it's you do get your LPGA card, but to gain that full status where you get to play a lot of events, you really have to finish the top 10, top 15. And I finished tied 37s, and my head was okay, great, I got my LPGA card. But then again, it was just conditional. So at least last year na naglaro ako, I had a goal set for myself. I was okay, sige, you're going to key series. Sure, it's going to be a lot of pressure and stress, but your goal is to finish at least top 15 to be able to play more events. So, I mean, obviously, I was very stressed heading into that week. Hindi ko alam kung paano ko ma-explain sa mga tao, but for some reason, I was like, I don't think I'm practicing enough. I didn't think I did enough, prepared enough for Q series. So I was super stressed. The first round, I shot over par, which ended up being my only over par round for the rest of the tournament. So after that round, sabi ko sa sarili ko, baka masyado ka na nag-iisip. Or like, baka masyado madami na yung pressure na binibigay mo sa sarili mo, maglaro ka na lang. Just trust your game and then play with what you have. And then, I don't know what happened. I guess I flipped the switch and ended up playing well for the next 7 rounds.
Well, nakita nga natin yun. And of course, mga kaibigan, doon sa mga hindi po nakakalam, yung Q series is like a qualifying, kaya po Q. No? And that's why, kasi sa dami na naglalaro ng golf sa tour, they really get only the best players sa LPGA. And Bianca, of course, is qualified and she's back on the tour. And we're just happy for that. And sana nga, hindi ka na dumaan ulit doon, Bianca, because I know that's a ringer indeed. But, when you talk about challenges, what has been the toughest challenge for you on the tour itself? In terms of, like logistics, in terms of even your consistency in your game, what has been the biggest challenge for you and problem?
Yeah, I'm lucky enough that my family is like very supportive of what I do. So at least like everything outside of golf, I don't really have to think about. So, my dad tries to handle all of that just so I can, completely focus on my golf. But I think one of the challenges really is trying to be, at that certain level mentally and physically every week. Just because like, tournaments are back to back. So it's like trying to stay at that level, trying to be consistent when I'm competing, I don't know how to explain it, but like you always have, unfortunately, like you have to be on every week.
Right. There's just no time to relax.
Yeah, exactly. And it's I mean, obviously you're gonna have your off days, but at the same time it's like you're gonna have to learn how to play with that when you're not really hitting it well. And it's hard to accept because you expect so much from yourself.
Right.
Every week, you're at a certain level. But then when you're not at that level, it's like it can get very frustrating. But then I think one thing I've also learned was just really trying to play with what I have throughout the tournament. Because like, golf is just it's such a tough sport that
akala ng tao palo lang ng palo at saka lakad lang ng lakad.
There's so much more to it.
Exactly. And even women golfers have to go through a physical regimen. We hear all the time ito mga lalaki how they drive the ball and how they do weights and lift weights and how they get into condition. But you women are doing the same thing, diba, Bianca?
Yeah, syempre you have to be, in shape physically and mentally when you're preparing for a tournament.
You had a terrific year last year because you played in the Olympics. And you briefly led the Olympics, actually, in the first round. And, of course, you were 3 back after the first round. How does the pressure of the Olympics compare to the tour? When you look at it that way, mas mabigat pa yung pressure compared to the regular events of the LPGA?
I guess like people think no bigat is because you're playing for something bigger than yourself. You're representing the Philippines. So parang pasan mo yung buong bansa sa likod. I mean, for me, I think of it like differently. I don't try to put pressure because it really is it's an honor to represent the country at that stage. But I guess that's why there's more pressure because it happens like every 4 years.
That's right.
Like, you could be Olympics, you don't know who'll be playing in the next.
That's right. We look at your game and people still consider you as the future of women's golf because of the way you drive that ball. You are ranked second in driving distance in the tour, averaging over 280 yards on your drives. But when you look at your entire game, Bianca, ano pa ang mga aspeto ng laro mo that you feel outside of your driving has been your strength?
Outside my driving, I guess. That's hard. Just kidding. I guess like I want to base it off of my like last two events, at least last two events. But I've seen like a huge improvement on my approach shots. Especially like the last event, I wasn't driving it great. Like for some reason, I wasn't comfortable off the tee, which is okay because, like I said, every week you're just like you can't have it every week. You couldn't. Good for you if you could, but like I said, you have to play with what you have. And I was hitting great approach shots. Irons were great, hitting a lot of greens. So to see that improvement was. It felt nice. It gave me confidence heading into. I mean, obviously we have a couple weeks off until our next event. I'm not playing, so my next event is like in 6 weeks in California. But I mean, I like assessing my game after a tournament, and I think even my bunker shots around the green were pretty good. I had a lot of sand saves, especially in like the last event. So seeing the different parts of my game kind of come together, it really gives me confidence, heading into the next tournament or that I'm preparing.
Yeah. Well, it's a good time for you to really work on your game. You have enough time, and that's good to hear. At least you can be a little more relaxed. You've been in the tour, and obviously you've made some friends. But among the people that you've been walking to, the veterans, especially LPGA, what has been the best advice coming from your co-player? As telling you, knowing that you are only in your second year in the tour, have you heard really good advice from these vets that have been there for a long time?
I mean, I feel like I heard someone told me something, and she's not necessarily a vet. She was like on tour, like just a few years ahead of me. But what she said was really nice and I guess comforting. So I think it's before my first ever event. We played a practice round together, and then she told me, well, if I could give you unsolicited advice, I was like, honestly, go for it. She said, you don't really have to try to be someone you're not, or you don't have to try so hard to be someone who wants to fit in out here on tour. Because the fact that you made it out here already shows that you're good enough to compete with all these players at the highest level. Because obviously, like coming into the tournament, I didn't know what to expect. Again, I was a rookie in 2020. So, ang taas na expectations ko. Grabe yung pressure na binibigay ko sa sarili ko. So, nung sinabi niya sa akin yan, it was really, parang I had to stop and think na parang, okay, I guess that kind of calms my nerves a little bit.
And settles you down, really, huh? Settles you down.
Yeah, I mean, it's true. I mean, obviously, I didn't know. I haven't played any tournaments. But the fact that she said that you don't really have to you don't have to try so hard to fit in. Parang, you're good enough to compete at this level. Remember that.
Do you remember who that was?
Yeah. She's my friend from college, actually. She's a couple years ahead of me. And she won on tour her first year.
Who's this?
Cheyenne Knight.
All right. Well, let's talk a little bit about the light stuff on your current tour. Like Cheyenne Knight, maybe one of your best friends, but who's really close to you on the tour right now?
It's kind of hard my rookie year. I couldn't really especially the pandemic, the peak of the pandemic in 2020. It was like we had to stay in our own bubble. So it was hard to ask people now, hey, do you want to hang out or go? But then obviously the people that I played with in college who ended up out there on tour, we ended up being closer. I guess my friend Andrea Lee, she played for Stanford. Oh my gosh, this sounds so lame. I don't really have that many friends.
What a realization. What a realization on this show.
But then, obviously, I have friends, but I don't really have best friends who I would...
Right. Yeah, that you hang out with really.
Close friends, but it's we'd hang out for after the round for having lunch or whatever.
Well, this is a job. This is a job. You're not in college na pwede kayo mag-recess at
Yeah.
This is work for you. So I guess it's okay to really keep that circle very, very, very small. But let's talk about, you've been around, you have played in so many courses. What is the best course and your favorite course so far?
Oh, that's so hard. I really
Do you prefer line yung 3-lined courses, or do you prefer links? Do you prefer like open courses?
I feel like I'm not a huge links fan just because hindi ako exposed to them growing up.
Oo nga.
It's a challenge. It's really different. But I'm biased ako sa 3-lined kasi lumaki ako sa Camp Aguinaldo and that was 3-lined.
Oh, that's really 3-lined. Mga nakakaalam po sa Camp Aguinaldo, puro puno po yan. Wala kayong walang lugar para sa mali. Oh.
So, I guess okay lang ako sa 3-line. And obviously, masaya din maglaro sa open course because I guess you don't really have to worry about anything. But then, I really enjoy the setup of the major courses.
All right.
So, I guess, yung courses na nilalaroan namin for KPMG, I really
KPMG. Yeah,
so
right. Oh.
First year was Aeronamic, it was Aeronamic, and then last year it was Atlanta Athletic Club.
Right.
And I really enjoyed the layouts of the two courses. It was a lot of fun.
All right. Well, you've also been paired with many, many golfers, but if you had a dream flight, what would it be? Who would it be?
Does it have to be just LPGA?
No.
Or
okay. Yeah. Jin Young Ko.
Oh, wait. I can do LPGA and PGA or just LPGA?
Oh, yeah. But, LPGA, and the LPGA, like, if you had a partner, a flight that you would be paired with, who would that be?
An LPGA, honestly, yes, Jin Young Ko. I would love to see her. The top 2 players in the world. I would love to be able to play with Nelly and Jin.
Nelly, wow.
He's so nice.
That would be so, and that would be fun in terms of driving with Nelly. I mean, you and Nelly would really go head to head. Nelly Corda. Okay, with the PGA, if you had the chance to play with one PGA player, sino yan?
Tiger Woods.
Oh.
The dream.
Don't we all? Huh?
Yeah.
All right. I see that you have a lot of endorsements, but are people beginning to, is it hard to get on the tour? Ayan, wala naman kaming alam dyan but give us a little, sneak peek. Mahirap pang kumuha ng endorsements, so may lumalapit sa inyo mga companies.
So my dad usually does all that. He's basically my manager.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's a little bit of both. They reach out, you reach out.
All right. Oh.
Yeah. So my dad handles that business side.
Pero in terms of your outfits, do you choose your outfits? Or this is, wala kang choice. This is given to you?
So I have a apparel sponsor and they just send me a
bunch of clothes.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So they have clothes for the fall, winter, and summer. Just so I have clothes for every weather day or for any basically.
Well, you are already a pro, and you said your parents take care of the business outside of it, and of course you're earning in dollars in the US. Of course, iba yon pag inuwi mo dito. But sulit na ba? Sulit na ba yung kinikita ng isang pro para sa'yo?
It depends. Like, if you are one of the top players in the world, I would say na sulit yung kinikita mo, but it's a hard job trying to make a living every week since everything is at your expense. Ikaw magbabayad ng airfare, hotel, car, registration fee, yung pagkain mo. So, I mean, if you're just an okay player making cuts every week, it's like you gotta work harder.
Now, let me take talk about your outlook for 2022. You started this year tied 41st on the drive on, and you now are taking a break. And una, how many events are you looking at for this year, Bianca?
Since I have better status, I'm definitely looking at. I'm hoping I get to play more events. Because we have to reshuffle after after a few events. So I would say I don't even know how many tournaments there are in here. I guess definitely more or less 15.
15 tournaments.
10.
50 tournaments for the year.
Maybe more or less around that number.
Terrific.
Maybe completely off, but I played last year and I didn't have great status, so I only played 10 around that.
Okay. And when you talk about those events, what are your personal goals for this year, Bianca? In terms of individual tournaments, in terms of your own achievements, in terms of your own growth.
I mean, first of all, I want to play well enough after the season to not have to go through Q series again. Of course, there were 2 events. I've had 2 top 10 finishes. So knowing that I can do that, I definitely want to hope for more this year. I'm working to finish, more in that position. I mean, obviously, when you're out here playing, you really want to win tournaments. So those are really goals. But to get there, I have so many other things to work on, which I'm excited to. It's after you play a good event, or not even necessarily a good event, after you play an event and you kind of assess your game and see that you're heading towards the right direction.
That's right.
It really
nakakainganyo.
Nakakainganyo talaga siya. Parang, usually you kind of dread practice because all you do is hit balls, do the same things over and over again just to make sure that you kind of master that. But, right now it doesn't seem like that. It's like it's like, wow, I want to work hard. Like, and you're so fired up to practice because that you're in the right direction or you've just good results.
So when you look at your events now, you see what you're trying to work on. You know where you came from, the Q series. What would make a successful season for you this year, Bianca?
What would make if I'm able to reach any of my goals, honestly.
Is there a particular ranking that you want? Is there a particular, do you want to get all the cuts? Obviously, everybody wants to get to the cut line all the time, diba? So, but is there a particular tournament that you're aiming at to win? Meron ba mga ganun?
I don't usually try to say those things out loud. I have goals written for myself.
All right. Okay.
They say na parang speak into existence. I would do that by myself. I'm just shy. But I mean, okay, I guess one of the goals. So right now, my world ranking, I'm not so sure what I'm at. I think I'm like 180, 170.
I have not checked that.
I haven't either. It's okay. I think I'm around that number, and obviously I want to work on
Bring it down. All right. That's good. Well, all right. Well, and of course, playing for the Philippines is still part of it. Part of your.
Something I look forward to. So
and talking about that, and I'm sorry, but I can't help but not ask this question. Of course, we know what happened to Yuka. She has decided to take on the citizenship of Japan. Your thoughts about that? Just your thoughts.
I mean, she had to make a decision. So, I mean, I respect Yuka and whatever she decides to do. She's a really good friend of mine. And I mean, I can't really say anything towards her. It's not like she could just let that pass, like the decision. It had to be made, I guess. But, she played for the country. She represented the Philippines well. She carried the Philippine flag when she won the US Open. So, I just want to thank her for everything she's done for Philippine golf and, how many young golfers she's inspired. So she's really done a lot for the country, especially for golf.
You see her on the tour, is she still the same? I mean, she's obviously done a lot. She's won a major, she's got a new endorsement. How do you assess Yuka right now? She's still the same. Paano pa rin kayo? I mean, you get to talk, you get to Tagalog, ganun pa rin.
I mean, fluent naman si Yuka sa Tagalog. That's all we've ever spoke. That's all we use when we talk to each other. She's still the same. I mean, I don't think she'll ever, change. She's very humble. So
that's nice.
It is. It really is. Especially with how much she's accomplished at a young age.
At a young age, indeed.
Young age, younger, so much younger than me. But yeah, it's.
Well, we're proud of anyone who always carries the Philippine flag, and you've done that, of course. That's why, as a parting shot here, before before I let you go, you know, you are now carrying the torch for the Philippines, so to speak. You know, as the let's say full-blooded Filipino. Of course, there's Dottie there playing also, and we're hoping that many other players will go there. Do you feel the responsibility now to, you know, really show the way for Philippine golf?
I mean, I guess, but like at the same time, we've come such a long way, especially like when I compare things, or when I don't compare, but when I look back at my own journey. So, I mean, like I said, we've had inspirations growing up. We've had people on tour before. We've had Filipinos on tour before, and they were people I look up to. But I mean, I guess it's just part of what I do. You know, I really want to be able to inspire younger girls, especially Filipinos. I want to make them feel represented on tour, just so, you know, they can dream of being out here and see that, you know, there are people like them who play on the biggest stage in golf. So I guess it's really part of what I do.
Well, and you've done it very, very well. And we're very proud of you, Bianca. And thank you so much. Alam mo, nababasa ko yung mga write-ups. They always say, when you pronounce your name, it's a soft A, 4 syllables. That's the way they describe it. But I think all they have to say is Bianca P. And I think, you know, everybody knows in the Philippines, Bianca Pagdanganan is carrying our flag there in the LPGA. Maraming salamat, Bianca, for your time.
Thank you so much for having me.
See you again. I hope we can catch you again as soon as you win your very first LPGA event. Huh?
Okay, sige po.
Maraming salamat. Thank you so much.
Thank you po.
Yan po mga kaibigan ng ating kababayang si Bianca Pagdanganan sa kanyang buhay sa LPGA and of course ng kanyang mga pangarap. Of course, nagsalita rin siya tungkol kay Yuka Saso. Still, pareho pa rin daw po si Yuka, and that's really good to hear directly from someone nakasama ni Yuka on the LPGA Tour. Again, Bianca Pagdanganan, our LPGA Pro Superstar. Alright mga kaibigan, sa amin pong pagbabalik, we put the spotlight on the Philippines taekwondo program sa inyong paboritong kasama tuwing Sabado, ang Power and Play. Hatid sa inyo ng Cherry Loom, ng Cherry Tigo at ng Chooks to Go. Kami po ay magbabalik sa ilang sandali.
Power and Play with Noli Iyala.
Mukhang kailangan ko na naman palitan ng bubong ko, pare. Mag-iisang taong pa lang yan. May tulo na kagad.
Ay, bossing! Baka naman kasi hindi matibay yung ginamit nyo. Dapat ang gamitin mo ay Cherry Loom, ang yerong aluminum. Basta yero, Cherry Loom. Tibay protektado sa pangmatagalang yero.
Eyes on the ice. That's capital I-C-E, for winter is coming to One Sports and One Sports Plus. Witness the exciting sports action in the Winter Olympic Games, Beijing 2022. High-caliber teams and world-class athletes battle it out for Olympic glory in 109 events and 15 disciplines. Free ski aerials, ski jumping, ice hockey, snowboarding, just to name a few. Catch our very own Asa Miller as she competes in the Alpine skiing event with the hope of being the Filipina to bring home another coveted gold medal. Watch the Winter Olympic Games Beijing 2022. Stronger together on February 4 to 2022. Only on One Sports and One Sports Plus, the official broadcast partners. One Sports is Channel 59 on Sky Cable, Channel 6 on Signal TV, and Channel 41 on Free TV. One Sports Plus is on Satellite Channel 54 and on Signal Channel 91 SD and Channel 261 HD.
Sa ilalim ng quarantine, anong buhay ba ang in-store?
Stuck at home?
With plans? O with plans?
Sa work, nakalock-in ka ba?
O from home lang? O paubos na VL mo?
Sa gathering?
Group yourselves into 10 lang.
Sa pagkain, pa-deliver?
O from a distance join in?
O team lutong bahay?
Sa jeepney? Ala sige, waluhan po yan. Pero apatan lang ba muna? Bago gawin!
Mga bagay na dapat makasanayan sa new normal. Ang buhay na dapat harapin para ma-survive ang pandemya at pagsubok.
Because life goes on!
With face mask and face shield.
Kasama sina Laila Chicadora at Mon Gualvez.
Bagong gawin.
Monday to Friday, alas 4 hanggang alas 6 in the morning.
Dating gawi ka pa ba?
Move on na sa Radyo 5, 92.3 News FM.
Tutukan gabi-gabi ang malalimang pagsisiyasat ng mga napapanahong balita. Hihimayin ang iba't ibang anggulo para sa mas malawak na diskusyon at impormasyon. Samahan sina Ed Lingao at Mian Los Baños mula sa Frontline tonight, Lunes hanggang Biyernes, 10:35 p.m. sa TV5. Mas pinalakas at pinalawak pa ang signal ng TV5. Kaya sa mga kapatid natin sa Baguio, Bacolod, Iloilo, Cagayan de Oro, Davao, Cebu, Cavite, Laguna, Batangas, Rizal, Bulacan, Pampanga at Metro Manila, huwag palagpasin ang mga bagong palabas ng TV5. Sundan lamang ang instruction sa pag-rescan ng inyong existing digital boxes. Pagsapit ng alas 5:30 ng hapon, nagbabagang balita at impormasyong dapat malaman. Mainit na ihahati mula sa Frontlines. Mas maagang pagbabalita para una kayong makasagap ng mga impormasyong dapat nyong malaman. Mapagkakatiwalaan, maaasahan at patas sa pagbabalita. Yan ang hatid ng Frontline Pilipinas. Mula Lunes hanggang Biyernes, 5:30 p.m. live dito sa TV5. Attention NBA fans! All the breathtaking NBA actions that you've been waiting for are here! Rising Stars Challenge, All-Star Saturday Night, and the 71st NBA All-Star Game. Yes, you heard it right. You name it, we got it. Don't miss the fun and thrill on NBA All-Star Game. Catch all the games on TV5, One Sports, NBA TV Philippines from February 19 to 21. Always a fan of NBA All-Star.
Coco Martin po, mga probinsyano, hindi magpapaawat si Cardo at tuloy-tuloy lang ang laban, gabi-gabi. Mag-riskan lang ng inyong digital box para hindi mag-miss ang mga makapigil hiningang aksyon sa FPG sa probinsyano sa TV5.
Mas pinalakas at pinalawak pa ang signal ng TV5. Kaya sa mga kapatid natin sa Baguio, huwag palampasin ang mga bagong palabas ng TV5. Sundan lamang ang instructions sa pag-rescan ng inyong existing digital boxes.
Noli Iyala Power and Play sa Radyo 5 92.3 News FM. Power and Play with Noli Iyala.
Muli po, magandang umaga sa inyo lahat mga kaibigan. Siya nga pala, isang paalala ha, yung pong pambato natin sa Beijing Winter Olympics, si Asa Miller, kaisa-isa po yan ha, na pambato ng Pilipinas ay lalaban bukas. Ha? Si Asa Miller po ay lalaban po sa men's slalom tomorrow morning, alas 10 po yan ng umaga. Kaya ipagdasal po natin ang ating pong atleta sa Winter Olympics. Lalaro rin yata siya sa men's slalom event on February 16. So again, dalawang event po yan and we're hoping na makausad at makapasok siya dun sa medal rounds. But again, napakabigat ng laban dyan. Ating pong ipagdarasal ang ating pambato sa Beijing Winter Olympics. Siya nga pala, dun po sa mga nagpadala ng kanilang mga komentaryo sa ating Pulso ng Bayan, ang ating pong pinupulsuhan. Sino po ang biggest winner and biggest loser sa nakalipas na NBA trade deadline? May mga nagpadala na po ng kanilang mga komentaryo sa Twitter. Sabi ni Chip, sabi niya, Suns, they became deeper. They have solid chemistry. Craig is another 3-and-D wing. Holiday becomes insurance in case Payne does not get back to his game. Sabi naman ni Emma, Nets, Dallas, and Suns, Sir Kumish. Oh, by the way, si paring Homer Saison, the only move that mattered really was your Philly. And you're right, Com, there is no more excuse not to win the East at least, and then maybe all the marbles in June. Salamat, Homer, sa iyong comment. Sabi naman ni Vansqui 360, KD and LBJ are the losers. Also, New York Knicks. I share that. I share that comment. Sabi pa ng ito si Mark Suba, winner 76ers kasi di naman naglalaro si Simmons before the trade. Di nila pinakawalan si Maxi Thibault para makuha si Harden na maganda nilalaro sa Nets before the trade. Ang champ and bid Harden combo loser Mavs kasi pinakawalan si Porzingis na baka bumalik uli ang max ability sa kanyang bagong team na Wizards. Marami pa po sa inyo na mga nagpadala dito sa ating Twitter. Si Jay Chio, underrated winner, Boston. Got their needs in Derek White and Daniel Theis without giving up too much. They didn't like Schroeder anyway. Losers, Portland gave up CJ for basically free. Sabi ni Estan, hindi, iba pala to. Si J. Rafael Lapid, Philadelphia will definitely benefit from the Nets and Trail Blazers will benefit from the Jazz in the recent NBA trade deadline. Marami pa po nagpadala. Mamaya, babasahin pa rin natin yung po mga nagpadala naman sa Facebook natin. Yung iba po dyan, si King James Vargas Rios. Para po sa akin, lahat naman po panalo sa trades pero ang pinakamapanalo ay ang Sixers kasi nakuha nila si James Harden at magkaroon ng katulong si Joel Embiid. LeBron James fan since 2003. Wow, grabe no? Ang dami palang fans at saka talagang nakatutok. Mamaya po, pabasahin natin yung iba pa at yung nanalo ng ating gift certificates mula sa Chooks to Go, ang nag-iisang manok ng bayan. Alright, ready na ba tayo, Mike, for our next guest this morning? At ang ating pong pag-uusapan ngayon ay ang ating pagtutok sa mga darating na competitions, lalong-lalo na sa SEA Games ng ating National Sports Associations. Ito po ang ating pagtutok sa Philippine Taekwondo in the Spotlight. Susulong na nga po ang 31st Southeast Asian Games sa Vietnam this year. Sa Mayo po yan, and of course, isa sa mga very successful na NSA noong pong SEA Games sa Manila ay ang Philippine Taekwondo Association. And today, we're very happy to have with us ang head coach ng PUMSE, walang iba kundi si Coach Rani Ortega, and ang National Training Director ng Philippine Taekwondo Association, si Director Dindo Simpao. Good morning, Coach.
Good morning, Komayala, and good morning to everybody.
Thank you so much for joining us. Mamaya, hintayin natin kung makukuha natin si Director Dindo. But again, Coach, thank you for joining us on Power and Play. Alam nyo, malapit na uli ang Southeast Asian Games, and certainly gusto naming tutukan ang mga ginagawa ng mga NSA. But before that, Coach Rani, tell us, you are the head coach ng PUMSE. What is your basic responsibility para sa PTA?
There's two events in the Taekwondo. So it's Kirugi and PUMSE. So I'm in charge of the whole PUMSE team. We basically do the forms. If you're comparing it to karate, it's kata. So we also have two events in PUMSE, which is the recognized and the freestyle. The recognized PUMSE, it's a choreographed event wherein everybody does the same thing. And there's also the freestyle PUMSE where there's music and there's technical skills na kailangan, and then you do your own routine. So, yun yung basically yung ginagawa namin.
Ito yung parang talagang walang combat but more of the form, no, Coach? And
yes.
Yan training ba dyan? Pareho lang? Para sa combat? Magkaiba. Alright. Paano yun?
We're actually training more of the whole body. So it's like a combination of gymnastic skills. We do whole body conditioning. We, syempre, rather than the combat style that you base on your movements on the reaction of your opponent, sa amin, it's more of repetitive style. So we practice the same thing over and over again to actually try to perfect it, especially when you're in a team. Kailangan not only pare-pareho yung galaw, sabay-sabay. Kapag nasa freestyle event, we have to train different skills, different tricks para maganda yung entertainment na ipapakita natin. And medyo kakaiba yung skills na ipapakita natin during the performance.
So basically, when you talk about the athletes or the gins performing in PUMSE, iba to dun sa mga, yung sinasabi mong the other side, yung combat.
The sparring part, yes.
Yeah, that's right. Okay. Well, Taekwondo was very successful in the Southeast Asian Games in Manila. Pero alam naman natin what happened. Nagkaroon tayo ng pandemya. Let me just check in on what has happened, the impact of the lockdowns, and of course our COVID protocols. How has it been for our elite and grassroots program sa Taekwondo because of the pandemic?
Well, right after the lockdown, we automatically shifted to online. Not really the Zoom style, but pag-uwi nila sa kanya-kanyang provinces, sa houses, actually the national team are like 80 to 85% from the province. We shifted to online program. So we give them daily routines that they need to do. And then we do weekly checkings. And then it's very fortunate for us that the Philippine Taekwondo Association right away made plans and kumbaga gumawa sila ng activities to keep everybody active. Starting, I think, May or June, we started online competitions. So actually, mas busy for the PUMSE players because rather than the sparring, nas nauna nilang nalagawa yung online na PUMSE tournaments kasi hindi kailangan ng contact. It's judged like how you judge it in an actual thing. It's just that everybody's judging it through the screen or through videos. So actually more busy because the actual national tournaments in PUMSE pre-pandemic, it's like 4 to 6 in a year rather than this time in pandemic, parang halos every month merong tournament. Not just locally but also internationally. The World Taekwondo and the Asian Taekwondo Union, meron din mga international tournaments. So very busy yung mga players. Everybody's still motivated because they always have a goal. Kaya hindi kami nag-stop nag-training kahit nung March when everything locked down. We continued until now.
And we, of course, PUMSE will be in the Southeast Asian Games in Vietnam, no?
Yes.
All right. We know that napakalakas natin in terms of that. In fact, in the recently concluded World Taekwondo PUMSE Open Challenge, nanalo tayo ng ginto. We won a couple of silvers and 2 bronzes. So it has been a very successful, as you said, very busy. Is this something that we are working on para talagang pagdating sa SEA Games, ito ang magiging isa sa mga pambato natin paghakot ng medalya, Coach?
Hopefully, because the players didn't stop training. We shifted to more specific movements and more specific programs for everybody. Instead of like nung pre-pandemic kasi we train everything. We train in general. Pero ngayon kasi we base on what their videos. So yung pag-check namin sa kanila, parang specific to their needs. So we give programs specific to their weaknesses. So nung nagkita-kita kami last year for Asian Championships, though it's a bubble type of training na hindi ganon katagal, hindi ganon kahirap to make them work together because na-improve nila yung sarili nila individually and skill-wise. And after that Asian Championships, we again shifted to online classes or online trainings. They are still working on themselves para pag magkita-kita kami in waiting for our chance to train physically or train together. Hindi kami mahihirapan to sync and we can just focus on the, kumbaga sa competition mode training na kami when we see each other hopefully soon.
Yeah, well, you have Jins, katulad ni Angelica Gao, who won the gold. And then, of course, there's Justine Macario, Vincent the brothers Rodriguez, no, obviously, na nanalo ng silver for the country. How many Jins do you have right now sa training pool ninyo sa PTA?
The national team A, yung pagpipilian natin for SEA Games, they're 14.
Okay.
But the national training pool for PUMSE, it's from cadet, which is 12 years old, until the seniors. We actually, inaalagaan namin ngayon 40, more or less,
Dami,
40 people.
Wow.
Yes.
Oo. And all of that you train, Coach? I mean, you do Zoom trainings? Do you go all together? What specific areas do you point out to them, and how do you conduct the training?
We do Zoom trainings, but more of individual program, and then we do video checkings.
Oh.
They submit videos and then we analyze.
Okay.
Sometimes it's not just me who's training. The seniors are there to help the juniors,
Okay.
because not only they will be able to check not only they will be able to check those players, but also pag nag-check ka na ibang tao, nakikita mo rin yung corrections. Uy, parang ganito pala yung akin, ganyan. So it's not like just physical training for everybody, but also kumbaga, tine-train ko din sila mentally, and tine-train ko sila how to be keen in their eyes, not just physically. Kasi sometimes, if you see the mistakes, mas kaya mong i-correct for yourself. So we do a lot of activities also. Not only physical training, but we also do like research. We also do like motivational videos. And then when the pandemic started, I also make them like watch a movie and then give their reactions, something to keep them in the zone, and then something to keep them busy, and something to make sure that they won't relax. So
Alright.
it's not just physical training that we do.
All right. Now na bumaba na ang kaso, we're down to alert level 2. Athletes are now allowed again to go back to training. Anong plano ng Philippine Taekwondo Association, Coach Rani, in terms of, are you creating a bubble? In terms of your preparations for the Southeast Asian Games, will there be competitions now, again, face-to-face? What are the plans for the SEA Games?
We're actually preparing for World Championships this April.
Mhm.
So some of the players, yung magkakasama, they train together. Yung iba naman like bumiyahe so that they can train together. But we're waiting for our chance to be able to train together. Pero we're not worried. We're not stressed because we know I know the players are in shape, and I know when we see each other, we won't have a hard time sinking in, because we always check in on them. We make sure everybody's okay physically, mentally, their health. We are getting ready. We are focusing on the World Championships this April.
Okay.
And then it's actually a build-up, or I don't say a tune-up game, pero syempre it's one way to really prepare well for SEA Games. Kasi parang may one more competition for before that.
Doon sa mga hindi masyado nakakaalam at hindi nakakakilala, give us an idea of sino yung mga gins to watch out for the World Championships as well as for the Southeast Asian Games.
We have our rank 3, which is Josel Ninobla, and the rank 4 in the world is Rodolfo Reyes Jr. And then we also have the men's team, who's also 4-time gold medalist in the Southeast Asian Games, if I'm not mistaken, 13, 15, 17, 19, yes. And then we have our women's team, sila Rina Babanto, Angel Gao, and then in the freestyle, we also have Aidane Laksa, and then the men's team, we have sila Rico Melia, pero hindi na sila brothers. Yung isa is already now an assistant coach. So we have a new men's team now, pero still strong. They're ready. And then we also have our freestyle players. We have the gold medalist in the Southeast Asian Games. We have Jordan Dominguez. And then the one who won gold in the online Asian Championships and the online championships in Lebanon last year, si Darius Venerable. And then the one who won in the World Challenge Open final, si Kobe. And the rest of the team who won silver in the SEA Games in 2019, everybody will be there.
All right. But, pinag-uusapan natin ang SEA Games. You had a terrific performance, as I mentioned kanina. 8 gold medals, 9 silvers, I think, in Manila 3 years ago. How do you top that? Anong expectations ng Philippine Taekwondo, at least for the Southeast Asian Games? Are you looking to better that? And what are the goals na isinet ninyo for yourselves?
Actually, it's a different goal because in SEA Games, at least for Pumse 2 years ago, we had 7 events. Here in the Vietnam Southeast Asian Games, we can only field in 3 out of the 5 events. So we still have until next month to really study what events we are going to field in, so that we can at least, I don't want to say top what we've got in the 2019 Asian Games medal wise, because you cannot compare 7 events to 3 events,
Right.
but at least the events that we will perform in, we want to top per event. Example, if it's the
Kailangan
FIBA
yun. Oo.
men's team, kung ano yung nakuha nila, gusto natin ganon or mas mataas pa doon. At least, pero what I tell my players is, SEA Games 3 years ago is already 3 years ago. They need to top what their performance, their what the credentials, pero kung ano yung galaw nila at ako na yung napanalo nila from last year and 2 years ago,
Right.
yun yung goal natin, because 2019 is far away already.
I know. Medyo malayo-layo na yan. But again, of course, sabi mo nga, mas binawasan ng events. So obviously, hindi ganun karami ang medalyang at stake. But still, if you can get all of that again, kagaya ng ginawa natin sa Manila, then it's certainly still going to be the same kind of quality. Coach Rani, before I let you go, hindi mo nabanggit si Kurt Barbosa in the lineup, of course, and he was our lone bet in the Olympics. Is he going to be there? And my second and my last question will be, are we closing the gap? Ang Philippine Taekwondo ba is closing the gap sa mga world beaters sa world stage?
Actually, Kurt Barbosa is in the Kirugi team, so he's
Okay.
in the other event.
In the other side, okay, that's right.
Yeah, so
Oh.
I'm really not sure, but of course he will be there, together with the other veteran players who will be playing for the Philippines in the Southeast Asian Games. For your second question, in Pumse at least, that's what I can say.
Yes.
Not bragging about it, but I think we are in that stage. We have in the under 30 division, both of our players are in the top 5. The female is in the top 3, and then the male is in the top 4. We are trying to still join tournaments to rank up or to maintain our ranking, because in the World Championships, it's like in tennis, yung seeding, it's dependent on their ranking. So we are really praying for a good draw in the World Championships. Kasi yung 2 years na pandemic, including yung 2 years na pandemic, they started the ranking for Pumse. So it started out in, I think, 2017 or 2018 tournaments, hanggang yung tournaments last year. So inadapt nila yung mga points of the G events, the G ranking events, to get those rankings for the under 30 players.
Well, we are certainly hoping, as you said, na tayo ay patuloy na umangat. We are really praying for the team, and we will continue to focus on Philippine Taekwondo as we get closer to the Southeast Asian Games. Coach Rani, maraming salamat sa oras na binigay mo sa amin this morning. Good luck sa Philippine Taekwondo, and of course sa inyong training patungo sa Southeast Asian Games and the World Championships.
Thank you very much.
Mga kaibigan, Coach Rani Ortega, head coach ng Pumse team ng Philippine Taekwondo Association. Again, we are world ranked dyan sa sport na yan. So again, we're expecting so much come the Southeast Asian Games. Pero kagaya na sinabi niya, binawasan yung dami ng events. Kaya medyo siguro pati yung ating paghakot ng medalya dyan ay siguradong mababawasan. But still, we're still gunning for all of those goals. Alright mga kaibigan, bago tayo magtapos, gusto ko lang po muli na magpasalamat sa lahat na nagpadala ng kanilang komentaryo sa ating pinupulsuhan ng bayan, mula kay King Mark Suba, biggest winner sa kanya, 76ers, kasi di naman naglalaro si Simmons bago nila itinraid at di nila pinakawalan si Maxi at Thibault. Mula kay Ryle DCME, biggest winner 76ers and Nets, biggest loser Wizards. Marami siyang sinabing mga explanation. Ped Esperida Emaas, para sa akin biggest winner ngayon season trade ang Sixers. Biggest addition kay Joel Embiid, ang isang hardened facilitator, scorer, etc. Marami po siyang nabanggit dyan. Jundril Oplado, biggest winner Brooklyn, biggest loser Sixers. Carlo Agustin Ponaya, biggest winner Brooklyn. Kasi medyo bata nakuha nila at tama lang na nakuha nila si Andre Drummond. Pero ang ating pong napili ngayong linggong ito na manalo ng ating gift certificates from Chooks to Go, ang nag-iisang manok ng bayan. Ang una po niyang komentaryo, Ito po ay, sabi niya, for me, biggest winner will be Brooklyn. Grabe ang nakuha nila, kapalit ni James Harden. Especially, andyan si Ben Simmons, monster, Andre Drummond, then Seth Curry to complement Durant and Irving. Biggest loser, 76ers. Yung take niya kasi, mabigat and I think Embiid and Harden will not work together. Yan po kay Edgar, Venjo, Pablo, Blas. Congratulations. You have gift certificates from Chooks to go. And then the other winner natin ngayong araw pong ito ay mula kay, ito po sorry. Ito pa. Ang ating susunod na winner ay si Jay Cruz. The big winner on NBA trade is Philadelphia because Harden, baliktad naman siya, is a boost to the offensive and Embiid will complement with James. And of course, sabi niya, Comnoli, I think the biggest loser is the LA Lakers. Why they have the chance to rebuild and reset but they did not make any move while they had a chance. Yan din po ang aking posisyon dyan I think the Lakers and of course the Knicks had a chance pero hindi sila nagpalakas. Alright mga kaibigan, we'll send to you, we'll give you your, magkokomentaryo po kami sa aming Facebook for you to get your prizes. Alright, maraming po salamat again sa inyo lahat sa sumubaybay sa amin ngayong umaga pong ito. Lagi po namin sinasabi tuwing Sabado, bawal ang masungit, ad maiorem Dei gloriam, all for the greater glory of God. Happy Sports Weekend mga kapatid, kami po ang 1PH, teleserbisyo para sa Pilipino, more power, more play.
Sa kapwa ko Pilipino, ipagmalaki ang galing na meron tayo. Ilantad ang likas nating talento at magdala ng saya sa mundo. Sa harap ng pagsubok ay di susuko, para sa pangarap tayo'y porsigido. Magpakitang gilas na at magpapatalo, ipagdiwang natin ang Pilipino. Mula noon at hanggang ngayon, talento natin ang bida. Mula sa simpleng bakuran hanggang entablado natin ipakita. May pagsubok man ng Pinoy, pinalalakas ng saya. San man tayo sa pulo, chumbe, sibay, lakay, amiga. Sama-sama pakita ang galing nating katropa sa kapwa ko Pilipino.
Game over na! Next Saturday ulit, Noli Iyala Power and Play sa Radyo 5, 92.3 News FM.
Mukhang kailangan ko na naman palitan ng bubong ko, pare. Mag-iisang taon pa lang yan. May tulo na kagad.
Ay, bossing! Baka naman kasi hindi matibay yung ginamit nyo. Dapat ang gamitin mo ay cherry loom, ang yerong aluminum.